Hi folks, you may have heard of the counterfeiting industry in the past videos, but have you heard of the extortion, IP extortion and IP extortion industry? Well, this you better have heard of it, and we are here in this video in order to give you the necessary information. You want to take precautionary measures rather than dealing with the problem once it arrives. It is more headache afterwards than it is upfront when you take the right decisions. Now, the extortion industry is looking for a subtle IP theft of yours. Let's take an example. We have the Mercedes-Benz or the BMW or the Porsche or whatever, or the Apple for that matter. So the big companies, and I will take these big companies rather than smaller ones to get it more clearer for you. But it is not limited by any measure to these big companies. So it may be target you as well. Now these big companies, they have their trademark, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, which is well protected all over the world, so they have no problem with this. And then they have their different models, and different models, they give numbers, right? Not like Peugeot, where they give names, so they give numbers. The Mercedes-Benz could be 220, 250, 350, 600, I don't know. The BMW, they have other numbers, 300 something and 300, or Q, no, that's Audi, Q3, Q5. The BMW has X5, X3, and so. Okay. Apple has 1, 2, 3, that's easier. So these numbers, and they are having these numbers also registered. Now, at a certain moment, smart people become aware of it. That is not so much anymore now. It is much now one notch lower. So that is your company which is targeted. Less these big companies, they have figured it out in the meantime. But by the time it was so that you remember these IQ tests. When you have done IQ tests, you have passed one probably. There is a part with the numbers. There are 4 numbers in a row, and you have to guess the next number, right? So that is a bit of this kind. So rather than looking at what is actually on the market, the smart people, they were looking, well, what will be done by Mercedes-Benz, by Porsche, by whatever, within 2-3 years. And then they register that number for cars or that number for smartphones on the market where Apple or where the automotive is strong. That would be Europe. So on the home market, if you want to say. So then when it comes to that point, the Class A, for example, for the Mercedes, they had the A class, the B class, C class, E class, and so when the A class did not exist, so if they had the other one, they may come the A class A, and then Class A was already registered, occupied by somebody else. Now, what happens, and what you guess what that smart guy. That smart guy has no intention and no infrastructure. So in order to make an automotive industry, you need an infrastructure, factory, logistics, some kind of infrastructure in order to build one. So that guy, these are individual guys that are not gangs, right? Individual guys, they say smart guys, but I would say bad faith guys. So this goes under the extortion industry, goes under the name of bad faith, technically or legally, if you want. So what to do? Well, negotiate is what they want. So to get a sum out of it with a high number of zeros before the comma, that's what they want. you can negotiate, and that's what they want. You can wait also 5 years. You remember that I told you about the use. The trademark is about filing, so first to file, but then the IP right wants that the trademark which is registered also be on use on the market. So that guy has not any intention to use it on the market. Well, we don't know about the intention. The intention is something which is inside the head, so it's difficult to prove. But you have to prove, in order to cancel that trademark, you have to prove that the guy has no intention to use that mark. And that can be done through circumstances that, for example, the guy had precedents of that kind of extortion in the past. That would probably not the case, because once the guy fall apart, he gets smarter and more sophisticated. Well, about the use, I told you about the use. Within 5 years in Europe, you have to use the mark. Otherwise, the Mercedes, though the deep pockets, they can cancel the mark for non-use. So we want to keep the register clean of trademarks which are non-used on the market, so that others can occupy this trademark and go with this trademark on the market for using it. So they can wait 4 years, 5 years, and then cancel it. But the guy, he's smart, so the bad faith guy, he already knows it. And what he can do is now ask for an associate to register again that mark for the same goods. Why do not do it himself? Well, there was a recent trademark decision from EU IPO that has to do with the Monopoly game from Hasbro, that is an American company for toys. And they have it since a long time, and they want monopoly for not only for games but for other goods and services. So and they have not used it. That was registered. They have not used it, and they registered again before the 5 years deadline for the same goods. They have the previous trademark, so that was bad faith. So for that reason, the bad faith guy would not be himself who applies for the new or the same trademark. It will be an associate of him. Well, this is about the situation you may encounter. That is one situation of the IP extortion industry. Now there may be another. I'll give you another example. You are in the machinery industry, for example, and you are very successful in Europe. That is your home market. You're very successful in other developed countries. There is where your machinery is needed, and you can sell it. And then you see that another country like China has become developed and now becomes an attractive market also for you. So you want to go to China in order to sell your goods as well. And you go to the trademark office, you know what you have to do, trademark, and you want to register your trademark, and big surprise, yes. There was already one. And there was already one who has done the following. Look at this, the following. He has done the trademark application for your trademark, your Western trademark, right? Then he has made a trademark application for a transliteration into Mandarin. So your trademark, but in Mandarin. And then he has made also an application for your trademark, which is a kind of nickname, because you have, like the Huifeng, you have a roaster in your trademark. So that is a complex trademark with an image, a kind of image, and you have some kind of animal or whatever it is, and this will be translated by the Chinese or remembered, anchored into their brain by that nickname. So they have also a nickname, and they may have even defensive trademarks, so that they build around something that you never can you never can get to it with your trademark or not even a similar trademark. So that happens in China. It's a very specific market there with regard to trademarks. They have 23 million trademarks, so enormous. That has to do with these kind of nicknames and defensive trademarks and around, and it's very cheap there to make trademark applications. So that is a situation we may encounter. And that was a situation, well, Michael Jordan, you know, that guy in America, NBA player, world's best, for his name was used for shoes, and he has a trademark. He has a trademark in the U.S. You know, this basketball player, the shape of a basketball player making the dump in the basket. So this was used, and then his name was transliterated into Chinese, and it was used also as a trademark with Michael Jordan. So every 5 or 6 or 8 trademarks around this. And he based his defense, or his attack, if you want, against this trademark on his name. And after years and years and years of litigation and instances, he won something at the end. You want to avoid this. So precautionary measures. You want the IP strategy to go front and the business strategy to go afterwards, not the other way around. If you do the other way around, you do it all wrong. You want one notch higher? Yes? Yes? Okay. One notch higher. Also in China, and this becomes now a bit difficult. So you have a famous brand in clothing, a Western brand. You can name whatever, Gucci. It doesn't matter. And then this brand is not present in China, and they want to make their trademark, and they have their trademark. Okay? They have their trademark. And then there's another trademark, which is Gucci, but perhaps with a C in the other way, looking the other way. You know, the Chanel, so one C looking the other way than the other. Okay. So that is registered as a trademark because it is sufficiently dissimilar with regard to Gucci, right? And then the use on the actual market, on the store, so to say, so they're using it. It's not about, a trademark without life. No, they're using the trademark for clothing. And then they have stores, for example, in China, and they use the trademark of Gucci. Now, with the C looking the right way. And what is the difficulty here? Well, the difficulty is that they have a trademark, the Chinese, the bad faith, so to say, they have a trademark, and they are using a trademark, slightly different, but they're using the trademark which has similitude to the trademark they have. Perhaps there's only one C and the other is the other way around. So, but it is in the use, in the actual use, it is halfway between the famous trademark and their registered trademark. So they are right in the middle. And right in the middle, guess what? Yes, confusingly similar. So here we are. Now it becomes very difficult because the trademark, they have a trademark, and what do? You cancel that trademark? No, you cannot, because that trademark is sufficiently similar with regard to yours, not confusingly similar for the consumers, right? So you have to go after the actual use, and this is a nightmare. So what you have to do is preemptively go in with IP upfront where you want to go, even if afterwards you change your direction, but always the IP going upfront. So that was the IP extortion industry. Does that sound interesting? Let's go to cyber quatting and squatting and these kind of things in the next videos. Thank you for tuning in.